how symbols and instances are, why both groups still have access to Petpet Park from Flash. Before we begin here, we are prepared for a total wiping of rebuild projects of this game due to our actions from Neopets and our shitty attitudes toward each other, and possibly the loss of all of the Neopets games on Flashpoint from the way this situation was handled, and are accepting that we hit the button to do this. It doesn't have to end this way, but keep in mind that we also feel it could end differently if the groups can show Neopets a peaceful restoration is possible. So what's it gonna be? Petpet Park rebuild, me jetting the cowboy hat and riding the nuke to the end, or us getting the recall code and enjoying another day? So we were going to tell you about the Doomsday Machine on Monday. Wait, you had a dead hand system in place as in Dr. Strangelove? Yes, and the last visitor who asked Petpet Park rebuild was told nobody would ever get the files from them, and well, I had that info for months before on Neopets CEO, but choose not to tell anyone I had it until the correct situation presented itself. That was the sending of Plan R in that movie. And well, Flashpoint banning me was taking out the bomber's radio comms, preventing a callback of that plane. So but here we are, enjoy and hope we don't get to watch fireworks. Would you have used it if you were in Flashpoint still? Likely yes, given that taking out Petpet Park rebuild would not change the preservation status of the game based on their statement S. Now back to the technical discussion so you can enjoy your time as the bomb sits waiting on its status. Adobe Animate CC uses a master symbol to hold an animated Petpet objects, and well, the instances make all the Petpets work. The instances were found intact on archive.org, and that's how both groups likely got as far as they have. Both groups' methods are doing the same exact thing, pushing the Petpet art into the master symbol, and then the instances update the art to the Petpet. Are there challenges to this method? Yes, since we're not using the same format to load Petpets, some alteration is needed to make later fancy Petpets load correctly using the method. We choose not to show what those methods are to encourage open access to all the Petpets, and it took Petpet Park Preservation Society a good 20 HRS phones solve it. They can too. Can you give some details what the issue is? Example of failed loadings. SYMOBL 40 greater than symbol 38 greater than front underscore arm 1. Successful loading repaired. Front underscore arm underscore 1. Oh, that sounds simple. Did we mention that 10 master symbols are very position senses it then will destroy the wireframe if not exactly where they are when you started. Asterisk sings tools schism, I know where the pieces fit, I watched them fall away. Asterisk. Also some less used tricks do fail and need symbols updated to reflect this. I will not get into that repair process as I have not even seen where those tricks were used, so maybe they were broken in the first place. How did the game not run out of RAM loading all the animations doing this? Flash allows each symbol used to have code, and it will run that code when it hits the artboard and only when it hits the artboard. Meaning the game only needs to keep TTRECK of what files need loading when they are called for. Why do both groups assemble the assets before then? The process that assembled Petpets in code and what both Petpet Park rebuild in Petpet Park Preservation Society article, but we just put all the changes into a standalone SWF since understanding how this code dance worked took Petpet Park Preservation Society a long time to figure out. Also our taunts, which we were forced to mackle to learn how the code worked since the groups could not share do not use action scropt 3 and rely on the timeline. Did only one Petpet use the wireframe? No, all 9 Petpets run off the same wireframe. This is why the Petpets had to maintain a rather bland appearance, plus the system has no way to handle species-specific clothing as Neopets did. Also it had no gender locks either. The boy or girl designation on the game was largely USELESSS and didn't change the assets loaded in any way. Was there any penalties for cross-dressing in Petpet Park? Not by the game. Some players could comment on this, but the game itself did not. Notable comments that do notice this include: Animal Crossing New Leaf. Unique dialogue is available, but it's accepting of the player Neopets. Does not restrict players by gender to specific outfits, however many clothes and etc. are species specific. Cyberpunk 2077. Open to choose whatever you wish to wear, not sure of unique dialogue options. Are you going to add this to your build? Nope, no need to change what works. Challenges this Petpet system presents to both groups. In order for this system to work, Petpet sets must be made or the game will not have any way to prevent loading incomplete Petpets, and like most games with many avatars available, not all are as popular as others, so thinking you can come back to less popular species is going to crash the game not having assets or force more development time for lockout of incomplete Petpet data. This is why we early on made Petpet sets, because we know that this would be a headache to solve later.